Greetings.
Hey, everyone.
A toast to Lady Hecate.
Whose night it was yesterday.
But a toast is also for us.
Yes,
Correct?
indeed.
Because...
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, sweetie.
Number 38.
Welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today.
Divine Dabblings with...
Oberon.
And me, Banshee.
Hi, everybody.
Not only is it our anniversary tomorrow, November 18th, it is also somebody's birthday.
Who? Where?
Mr. O.
Oh, me?
So I have some cards for you.
Aww. Thank you.
You are welcome.
We're going to adjust the cam from Hecate.
Yeah, that was actually a gift that I got him for his special day, his birthday.
One last look at her. Over there somewhere. Oh, that's Sunny. There.
There she is.
Beautiful statue. Thank you so much.
It's an absolutely gorgeous statue. Nicely representative because, of course, Hecate has hounds and is a torch carrier.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Kellel.
Thank you, everybody.
And we're taking a moment to readjust our cam
And while he is opening cards, I'm going to draw an affirmator from my Love Affirmator deck for everybody in honor of our anniversary today. Let's see what we get. And it's about vulnerability. And it says, I allow myself to talk about my feelings without fear of external judgment or internal drama. When I express my feelings, a couple of funny things happen. I feel like a kindergartner. Everything gets lighter, easier, and filled with the comforting glow of honesty. Hey, no wonder kindergartners seem to have so much fun and are carefree. So that's our Love Affirmator for today. Be vulnerable.
And I got birthday cards. Oh, dear.
That's not a birthday card.
Oh, that's the anniversary card. I see. This must have something to do with being stubborn.
No. Guess again.
Oh, Banshee. This is supposed to be a program that's family intentional.
Oh, please show it.
Glad your ass is still mine. Happy anniversary. What will the children say? Thank you, dear.
I thought you'd appreciate the sentiment. Okay, I've got people in order so far, so do not worry. We're just going to take a few more moments to bask in our anniversary.
If I had one wish for your birthday, it would be this. Hi, esoterics.
Hey, E.T.
I wish I'd win the lottery. How true that is for you.
What did I say?
Only because you wish this too. Happy birthday, love, Banshee. Aw, thank you. Love rules.
Well, yes it does. Yes it does. Makes the world go round and all of that. So welcome to our show today. Obviously, we're in a great mood. We have a little bit of wine today, I will say. We are a little bit scattered because this has been just an absolutely crazy busy week. We're going to go up north again tomorrow to visit your mom, who's also celebrating a birthday this week. And what number is that for her?
Her birthday is number 85.
And still going strong, and got a nice cake made for her and everything.
Yes, it's going to be a fun day.
It's going to be a fun day tomorrow.
Alrighty.
Well, so... moving along, I just wanted to point out one other thing before we start. Sorry about that. We did get a couple of other really cool gifts for ourselves. This is a joint gift we got for ourselves. Apparently, Red Wheel Wiser has just put out something called...
Whoops. Hold on a minute. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
That's
I was
okay.
answering somebody.
Something called the Alchemical Visions Tarot. And it is done by the artist Arthur Tossig, who's also a PhD. He seems to be a brilliant mind. He's worked for the government. I don't know if anybody is familiar with Tausig's artwork, but you could consider this deck to be as precious in a way to me as the, what's the other deck? The Dolly Tarot that I have. And I do have an original Dolly Tarot. But I just thought I'd show you a couple of these cards because they are way awesome. This is the Magician card.
Oh my goodness.
And these cards are huge. They're a handful.
Yeah, it's hard to get all of the cards detail in with our little camera here, but it's very picturesque. It's so interesting because the textures make it seem like there's 3 or more layers. You know, there's these black and white layers, there's the color layers, there's other layers in there. Very nice.
And the other, very collage-like. And the other thing, I want to show just 2 more before we get started. This one is the High Priestess. And I read the explanation of the High Priestess. If you notice, she is stripped down. It is basically a woman, but, you know, under the skin. And he basically explained because, you know, the High Priestess operates with things that are under the surface level. So literally, you know, the skin is off, so to speak, and you just see her her inner body there, which I think is really an awesome.
They are amazing, and our cameras do not do justice for them.
Check out this deck, but I will say, you know, you're getting it from a major artist, so it is not cheap. It is not cheap, a cheap deck book set. This one is called this one is the Hierophant. And again, looks like you're looking at the insides of the Hierophant here. I think it's very fascinating. And I think we just literally are going to have to take this deck and learn this deck 1 card at a time. It is really, really in-depth and very awesome. So I thought I'd just take a moment to share that because I know we have some tarot readers out there as well. This is really a special, special find.
Okay, when you have a chance, put Sarah on the list.
I will
who
put,
has just arrived.
Okay, she'll be after
Hi, Sarah.
Esoterics. I will read the list order in just a minute for everybody.
Do I need to move our statuary over there? Is it okay over there?
Well, you know, Sunny is a little bit... Why don't you go up and do that, and I'll just talk a moment more while you do. We also got a couple of books, or I did. I had to get some gifts too, you know, for myself, since he got that fantastic statue. I got something called Honoring Your Ancestors by, this is a Llewellyn book, and it is by Mallory Vaudois. And something I think I'm going to find very interesting for me because I'm highly empathic, a book called Esoteric, you might like that, Esoteric's Tarot, Esoteric Empathy by Raven Digitalis. And I've already started to crack that one. It's a very interesting book as well. If you also have an empathic nature, you may want to check that one out. And Mr. O, I would move the leaves and stuff too because Sunman will, our cat will eat almost anything, I have to say.
Indeed.
So, all right, here is the order that I have. I'm going to read it off. I'm pretty sure I caught everybody in order. It's Diane first, then Josephine second. Sharmila will be third. Balkis M, thank you for joining us. Balkis Miracle, I believe. Thank you for joining us today. And, okay, I'm going to try to say it right. How do I say it? Kaliel? Kaliel. How about that? I think I'm close. And then Esoteric Tarot and Sarah. Finally, Sarah. So this is the list we have so far.
Alrighty.
And we're going to get the ball rolling right away because obviously we've got you all waiting. And again, thanks for joining us today. We think it's been a special weekend so far. Today I am reading with Ciro Marchetti's Tarot of Dreams. I've been reading with his latest, the Tarot Grand Lux, but I've gone back to my next oldest one of his, the Tarot of Dreams. Oh, good. And of course, I'm going to slip into saying it wrong all the time.
Okay,
right.
So Diana's asking us about a love reading with Khaled, current feelings of him.
Okay,
And
all
that's
right.
somebody that Diane knows.
All right, do you want to use your deck? Which deck are you reading with?
And I am using the Navigators of the Mystic Sea, which has a nice little tree of life as the backer. And they're very vivid and coloresque. This one's the Ten of Wands, and the wands are on fire. So we're going to do the reading with my deck first. Okay.
Yes. And I think since we're talking about feelings here, let me see. We'll do the one attitudes towards Khalid, and then Khalid's attitudes towards you and where things are headed. I'll do that one for you, Diane.
Sharmila, you are on the list. If you didn't know that, you're number 3.
Yes, Sharmila, I've got you. You are the
go.
third person. All right. I was just giving my old deck a quick shuffle there. I'll be reading with my Fairy Lenormand cards, which I read with the last time. I almost bought another Lenormand deck. Where were we this weekend?
Oh, that's right, where we got our Hecate statue. So we are giving the shameless plug to our good friends Pat and Paul at the Arts and Craft Metaphysical and Supply Store in Hartford, Michigan. You can Google Arts, A-R-T-E-S, and Craft.
They do a brisk mail order business, I hear.
They will be happy to fill your order by email or digital. They have an astounding display of very...
everything.
But they have a lot of books and card sets that we don't see just everywhere. They have some conduits into some British and European distribution.
Australian, yeah.
So they're very cool. So we are giving that shameless plug to them. We love them dearly. And we bought the Hecate from them, from their store. Alrighty, first card.
Okay, the first card, Diane, is your attitudes towards Khalid first.
Okay.
Well, maybe
Ace of Wands.
reversed. So maybe you have a few concerns. You have a few concerns about where this is headed, if this has really gotten off the ground in the way that you would have liked. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I'm picking up.
I got a feeling like maybe they started off with like a burst of flame or heat, like there was just something hot in the beginning, and now it is not so much that it's cooled off, that maybe it's just sort of moved into a parameter where it does, like Banshee say, leave you questioning that, like, was it just a spurt, or will it fan out into a flame again, maybe? Or that maybe there's a perception right now that although there was an engagement or some sense of a feeling, that for certain reasons there may be some delay going on. Like maybe somebody had to cool their heels because of a job situation or a travel situation.
Thanks for that 111 update, E.T. Yes. Last night I looked at the clock at 11:11. I don't know, this happens to me all the time. It's just crazy.
Okay, a lot of delays. Second card.
The second card is Khalid's attitude towards you.
And we have another wand, and it's also reversed. It's the Ten of Wands. And Khalid feels released from certain burdens or obligations, either when he's with you or when he is invigorating with you, when he's just interacting with you, guess is what I'm really trying to say, that somehow thinking of you or being within your presence or your realm releases him from certain feelings. Like maybe he feels he can set aside troubles, they can set aside troubles, or maybe they feel that there's been a release from some pressures or obligations.
What I would say about this is, I get the feeling that Khalid feels you make him feel so much lighter in spirit. He feels like, a lot of his burdens or pressures kind of melt away in your presence. So that's a positive, very, very positive sign there. He feels very uplifted by you.
Are either or both of you guys fire signs by chance? Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. The wands sort of connote fire energy. even if you're not that sun sign, either you, it could be that there are planets or things that are in sun signs that are kind of, giving you that energy.
I see. So, okay, all right. Well, and so in a sense, if it's a crush, that's kind of with the Ace of Wands here, that this has
Yeah.
not moved forward in the way that you would have liked, perhaps. That might have been your attitude. And Khalid's attitude right now, I don't know. Does Khalid in fact knows you then, right?
Right.
So I would say that this card is still valid in that case, that he's found he's found you've always uplifted his spirit whenever he did talk to you.
You're not ungood to look at or to think of.
And so where are things headed if it's just a crush? Let's take a look. Okay.
Well, I can tell you where it's headed. It may be that it's going to be a long road because we have the reverse Knight of Pentacles, and this tends to represent a person or the qualities of slower movement. Maybe sometimes it's about caution, but also maybe sometimes it's just sort of really about initiative. Some people have a slower style. I'm not saying that that's necessarily Khaled or you, but I do get the feeling, you're waiting on his call now, that there's sort of a sense that this person moves to a definitely slower drum
Pace.
beat.
Absolutely. Which
So
isn't always a bad thing, but it depends, If you have been waiting a while, of course, I can understand the anxiety.
my advice seems to feel that in a way, this would be the kind of person that maybe you could be more aggressive and there wouldn't necessarily, or more, upfront, and there wouldn't necessarily be a reaction to that. Like maybe this is a person that would like somebody else to be more initiative. Or maybe they just don't know how to do that for themselves, or that they have other things, and so they're waiting for the initiative to pull them along.
Well, this is really interesting since you said that. I pull one card from my Lenormand from the top, Diane, and one from the bottom. But look what I've got. You can hold those up. I've got the letter.
Whoops, that's the
That's
letter
the
there.
letter. And I also have the park or garden in some decks. It varies. And this is really interesting. It could be an invitation to something. You might be invited to some social event with Khalid, potentially, or you might hook up or meet him at a social event. There's definitely going to be news of some kind of social event coming to you.
I get the feeling like maybe you should also feel free enough to just be the one who initiates this. Like maybe I feel like you could say, "Oh, there's something in the park, maybe it's a dog show or it's a band playing or something like that, or wherever it is or whatever it is." But something kind of casual, and you could just indicate that maybe it would be fun to get together for that, and possibly try to be a little bit forward in terms of moving on the relationship, but not making it seem like this is specifically that. I get the feeling like maybe Khaled is more of a organically growing person. It just sort of grows more naturally at a slower pace. Maybe their culture or their background allows that, because I sort of get that feeling like maybe, they say that some people from European cultures have a slower pace to life, or some, people from Mexico have a slower pace to life. I don't know Khaled's background, but I'm thinking maybe that's what's going on a little bit.
Is this a distance relationship? Are you not living in the same area? So there distance is a factor. I have that feeling that there might be distance as a factor, but I'm not sure.
It could be.
Because that might be part of it too. So, okay, yes, distant. Okay,
Ah,
okay. So it might not be possible to get together at this social gathering, but it seems to me there's going to be news. You know what this could also indicate is news on social media, the combination of these cards together. So that is a possibility as well. If you remain distant, you will. I get the feeling it's a matter of this might happen more quickly, that you might be in contact with him. I can't say the relationship is going to develop further faster, but I can say that I do think you are going to make contact soon.
right. And I feel like what I said before about taking more initiative is still valid, even if this begins or mostly starts and moves as an internet or a distance relationship, because those may be the factors where the initiative being slower lies. Like they're reviewing the possibilities of how they would ever actually meet you and get together with you. And so this may be the kind of thing where if your interest and his interest do ultimately have more of a parity or a synchronicity, you're going to be playing the long game.
Yeah, and I would have to say to you that this relationship is definitely not without its obstacles because you do have 3 reversed cards, and I have to take that into account that could indicate more delays or just obstacles between the two of you getting together.
Diane wonders if we can know when, so like how long it might be taking.
Are you
to
talking
develop.
about the relationship or when he might contact you?
I'm just going to pull a card anyway. You will be finding out soon, I think. You have the sun, and the sun is illumination. It sort of is finding out things. It's knowledge. It's the use of the mind. So I get the feeling that probably because maybe you're going to be initiative, and of course the sun does sort of indicate that as well, that maybe it's up to you to push the issue and that you should just possibly try to be a little bit more specific and say, I want to know if we can get together. Will you contact me or not? And then, just, be from that point of view that if they're always having a problem staying in touch with you, then you need to remain open to other possibilities as well.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I think it's going to happen within the next 2 weeks, but if it does not, I think it's definitely going to happen that you will get word one way or another before the next astrological sun sign, moves into the next sign.
Right, before we move into the next sun sign, which
actually is even sooner, right?
Right, and it will be fire.
Yeah, so it's going to be in Sagittarius very shortly. So I think you should hold out hope.
Within this week, maybe.
Yeah, I think you should hold out hope that within these next 2 weeks, I think it's going to happen that you will hear something. Okay, Diane, I'm glad we could help you today.
We hope we helped you, and let us know if you can how things work out for you.
And you never know anybody who's here with us today. If we don't get a lot of people today, we could revisit and answer more questions. We might just come up with some more content today as well.
This seems time for me to do my own shameless plug, and that I will be doing a weekly reading for the signs of the zodiac per their elemental association. That will be a week's view at the emotional exchanges. So this is Oberon's outlook on emotional exchanges, and that will be for the air signs, the fire signs, the water signs, the earth signs. I'll pull several cards and try to give a clue to each of those elementals what is happening for you in the realm of emotions in the next week. It may be about, situations that involve actual relationships, or it may just be about the pleasure of emotions.
Interpersonal relationships, friends, family.
We're going to be dwelling on good time emotions mostly, whether they're about actual love or platonic love or friendship or just relationships that we have. So that's premiering next Friday.
And it is all him. Not me, because I'm working on and developing my own project that's probably maybe 2 weeks to 3 weeks away. And I will be doing a weekly reading probably in the beginning of the week for our finances, our education, and our jobs, careers, of course. So basically look for that, and it's yet to be named and yet to be developed, but it will also be for the elemental signs of the zodiac. And I'll be doing that once a week, and that will be just me. And then we have some big plans for the future, do we not? Do we want to just tease it?
Well, and the funny thing about that, teasing that, is that we still haven't caught up with the plans for the weather thing either.
No, and it's maybe going to be a moot point as winter.
We're just brainstorming too much, so somebody's going to have to put a saddle on us and rein us in, I think. But
you're very welcome, Diane, by the way, with no problem at all. Visit us again. We are thinking of doing a monthly reading. I'm not going to say how it's set up yet, but it's rather unique, and it will be astrologically based. That's all we're going to say right now. We're tweaking and working it out.
But we think it's going to be different from what most other people are doing.
Mm-hmm,
because we're looking at it from a different lens in a way.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
I did that, but she made it better.
That's what I do. So I hope we've teased you enough on that one, and we're going to move on to Josephine. Josephine, are you with us still? And if you could let us know your question. We'll give you a couple minutes here. And you want to use my deck for this one?
Sure, we can do that. I'm just going to make a minor adjustment on the card cam.
Hey, Josephine, it is your turn. Oh, why, thank you so much. Do you happen to know what it says?
Go ahead and tell us.
It actually spells out with various things here. There's a paper clip, there's books, librarian. Wonder why? Because that's what I do in my other life. And so here's some glasses and things you need. There's a CD-ROM. There's all kinds of little goodies here and different books with call number ranges on them.
We're actually both library workers. She is the actual
Khalil.
master's degree librarian. I'm more of a techie. I do more technical stuff. But we're both, over the course of literally 40 years in library world or about that. So yeah, we have a combined 80 some years in library world. We've both been, in my opinion, highly trained with many skill sets, some of those that are not even valid anymore. We were both trained to search databases that people don't use anymore. But you move on and then you learn new skills. So.
Well, let's think about this. We met in 1976 and we met in a library. We were working in libraries back then as student workers. And I ended up working in libraries of various sorts all my career. I ended up getting my master's degree in library science in 1999. So I was already in my 40s. So, it opened up great doors for me. I have never looked back.
I did have college, but I decided not to complete it. It just was not working for me. However, I am proud to mention, once again, I think we did this months ago in our early promos, that when I was at the university, I had a paper accepted into the university's archives, and it was specifically about tarot cards, tarot card readers. I think it was called a Turn of the Cards or something like that. And that was way back. That was literally about 40 years ago. And
smiling. Hey, I'll put you on the list.
Madame Banshee was actually one of the subjects of my paper. It was basically a comparison between a tarot card reader of years duration and Banshee, who when I met was not reading tarot cards originally.
That's right. I was reading a regular deck of playing cards, and I still do.
So I sort of contrasted that, and that research ended up in the Wayne State Archives. I don't know if they've retained it or not, but there's a little feather in my non-existent cap.
Okay, mister.
Thank you.
Okay, Smiling Soul, you are on the list. I think we've given Josephine plenty of time. Josephine, this is definitely your last call. So if you're on, otherwise we're going to move on, and I'll have to put you on the bottom of the list when you join us again. We put our rules up that will come up on the chat every so often for the reading list, only because, we're getting new people and more people and want to make sure we can fit everybody in.
So if you come back, you just go to the bottom of the list, and we still may get around to you.
That's right.
It's just whatever happens. We're not chaining you to our live stream.
No. So, going once, going twice. We're going to move beyond Josephine now, and Sharmila, you are next.
All right, Sharmila. General reading, or do you have a question for us? Bundell. Okay, how is Bundell feeling about you?
Okay.
Alrighty. And we're going to use your deck again this time?
Yeah, do you want to
Sure.
throw 3 cards for this one? Let's do 3
Yeah,
on
we'll do
this
3
one and check
cards.
out just his feelings or her feelings. I'll let you shuffle. So on our YouTube channel right now, we posted Oberon's Hecate meditation from a presentation we did at the Arts and Crafts store on Saturday. And maybe we'll post some pictures from there.
But there was something else on that YouTube video. What was that?
Oh, that was me singing my crone. If you could ignore the bad voice, I did create a nice chant for the crone, because this is the time of the year when we kind of honor crone energy, when everything is coming to a standstill and slowing down and getting old, so to speak. That's a feeling of winter, that I created this chant that kind of takes you through the seasons and cycles of life as well. So I hope you tune into his meditation and check that out. And at the end of his meditation, you'll hear me singing.
Earlier today, I was looking at the meditation and the Crone's Call song while Banshee was out doing a little bit of shopping. And as soon as her voice started singing the song, Sunny, our persistent mascot cat, came running down the stairs and then started looking at the TV and began crying. It was so cool. It was really cool.
I don't know if he just doesn't like my singing, because the thing was, when I was trying to tape this, he kept interrupting constantly. We actually had to put him in a room by himself, give him a timeout, so I could tape the song. So I don't know. I think he's probably my music critic.
Okay, so...
Anyway, well, I got to tell you, oh, Josephine, I'm so sorry. We had to go past you. We killed a lot of time, but we've had to put you at the bottom of the list now, because we've had to move on. I'm very sorry. And so, Sharmila, I have some cards here. They're not looking really positive about, let me see, who's the person again?
Which is the first one?
Oh, Bundell?
Right. How is Bundell feeling about Sharmila?
Well, I don't know what it is, but he's not feeling very lucky.
Which was the first card?
It was this one. We have the Nine of Cups. I almost
reversed.
Feel as though he might feel you are, and then we have the Ten of Cups reversed. I want those two together because they seem to go together in some way. And I almost feel like he feels that either he feels really uncertain about being able to have a relationship maybe with you.
Either that, or else there is something that they expect that when they think about that, they don't feel they're going to get that, whatever it is that they expect, that they don't feel that there's a benefit, or that they're not seeing, why they want to be in this relationship. So they may not be interested in a relationship. Maybe there's some other reason why they're around in your environment.
Okay, you're not in contact. Would he contact soon? I would say no. I also think a possibility here is that he is dealing with a lot of maybe turbulence right now with their own emotions. That maybe there's even some family matters that are pressing. There's something that is roiling him emotionally right now, and it does seem like this is not off to a start
this position
right now.
Mean?
Just the 3 cards together about.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Yeah, this could be, and it's the Page of Wands. So this person maybe is really focused somewhere else. I think they're expecting some sort of notice or information maybe that's about these family issues or these other matters, and that seems to be occupying them, and that maybe if they're aware, maybe this message has already come and it's not good news, and so they're really thinking about what they need to do in terms of rebuilding that, perhaps? Not taking the direct approach.
I wanted to pull another card because I feel that there's something left unsaid here. I think that this person really needs to work on balance issues right now. I don't know if they have been in a relationship. Maybe that's part of the problem, and it's been such a difficult transition out of that relationship that they're having problems right now focusing on anything new and contacting someone else. But this could be maybe what's going on as well.
I more or less agree with Banshee here. I don't think that you are very present in their thoughts. It seems to me like there's some other issues that are kind of consuming them, and they mostly relate to some emotional matters. So it may have to deal with other people or relationships in their life that they're dealing with. And also, too, it seems like maybe they're minorly pissed off or minorly agitated over something that didn't happen, a promise of employment or a promise of some situation that was supposed to happen that maybe backfired in some respect.
I'm going to see what the Lenormand say, but I'll tell you what, I'm getting the feeling that you asked the question if he would contact or they would contact you soon, and I'm going to say probably no. I don't see this as happening soon unless I get something else here, and it's like Oberon said, I believe they're consumed with other matters right now.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, not great combination here either, Sharmilla. We have the coffin and we also have the mice. And the mice is a lessening thing. You know, if anything, this is almost indicating that there might be less contact for a while. This person is in the process of an ending of some sort, ending in their lives. And there's definitely not a lot of time for anything else, and also there's just a lot of worries and troubles on their mind right now. That's what the mice seem to indicate to me.
Yeah, this only really reinforces the message of the other cards,
Yeah, I
and I do
think.
feel that there's some difficulties and major issues. I'm going to go out on a limb too and say that maybe this person is dealing with a certain level of bad habits or complicated behaviors that they're trying to change. So maybe this is part of what's going on too. Is I get the feeling like they need to make some, and they're aware of this. They need to make some big changes in their lives. They need to end some modes of behavior that don't work for them, I think.
Mm-hmm. So I wish I had better news, but at present time, it's not looking very positive at all. And so you might not want to, how should I say this? You just might not want to put all your eggs in one basket here, if you know what I mean, because, maybe it's not worth waiting around for at this time. You're really going to have to reevaluate things a little bit. And what I would suggest to you too is remember, Mercury is still retrograde, right, for a
Several
little
more
while
days, yeah.
longer. And so maybe after things start clearing up with the Mercury retrograde, things might become a little clearer.
Yes. I think that this person may uh, be a friend or have some sort of resonance within your life, but I have the feeling like you should just sort of give them their space.
Hi, Mimi. I will put you on the list. And I think we're still going fine with the list. Sharmilla, I'm sorry, check back with us.
Right.
I would suggest maybe, if you come back to our next live stream, don't ask this question again right away. Give it another week till the retrograde's starting to clear out more, and we'll see if we can come up with more information for you. And so we're moving along down the list now. I'm going to go over the list one more time for people just so you know where you are. The next person is Balkis Miracle, if you're still with us. And then Calio. Calio. And then Esoterics Tarot, Sarah, Smiling Soul, Josephine, and Mimi.
Who's coming towards me and when?
Oh.
Oh, okay. I like an open-ended question like that because, of course, we don't know if you mean if they're coming towards you to be a friend, to be romantic, to
I'm
ask
kind
you to
of
work a
thinking I know
job.
what you
You don't
mean.
have to tell us that. Let me
What I
do my
think we're
cards.
gonna do is we're gonna shuffle both decks. Okay?
Oh, you have an idea
I
yet?
do. And I think
See
my
who can guess
deck
it.
will be where we draw the 3 cards for let's just see who's coming. This will give us a feeling about who's
And mine will be the
coming,
when.
and yours will be the one.
Alrighty.
And we'll draw 1 card if we need it.
We're not going to shuffle each other's decks, though, are we?
Yes, we are.
Oh.
Oh, yes, we are. We're going all out for you, Balkus Miracle. All right.
You are welcome, Sharmila. Thank you, and do check in again.
Yes, absolutely. Good to see you again.
I dropped a card,
Oh.
Balkus, and it was the 8 of Cups.
Upright?
And yes, and I get the feeling like as much as somebody may be coming towards you, you yourself may be going towards something.
Yes, that's an interesting sign. So I get to cut these for you, and you get to cut those for me.
And you're going to read first, right? Because yours
Yes.
is the who. Mimi, we will put you on the list.
Mimi is on the list. I just
okay.
mentioned the list to everybody. That is the, okay. I just want to be sure. 4 of Swords reversed. Whoa. Well, this is an interesting combination of cards for somebody who is coming towards you. It is the, oh, do you want to get the other cam?
Yes, I do.
Okay. It is the 4 of Swords reversed. I'm going to show you all 3 cards.
And I can't wait to say something.
I know, I bet you can't. Neither can I. And this is the Devil card upright. And then we have the Knight of Cups reversed. And I'm going to let Oberon go first because it's his birthday tomorrow.
Okay, what's coming towards you is a person who probably took a break from a while for you. And I'm thinking an old romantic person of some sort. And maybe it was good they took a break because they're probably the devil to you. They probably tempt you or not necessarily make you feel like you are totally exemplifying better characteristics. Unless, of course, you are really, into the dark side somewhat. But I think what's coming towards you is somebody who left for a while and it wants to come back and maybe they have some devilish qualities about themselves.
Well, yes, I would say that there is some cautionary flags here in that the Knight of Cups, for example, is reversed.
Thank you, Smiling Soul.
And that person can be somebody who is, has some difficulties with their emotions. I mean, I think that it could be one or the other. They're either too overly emotional or they maybe do not know how to express their emotions well enough. And so I don't know. I tend to think Oberon might be onto something here with this from the past, the 4 of Swords reversed. But it means that, yeah, maybe a return or somebody you have taken a break from. And maybe it was because they weren't necessarily, the most upstanding of characters is how I would say it. Maybe they had some issues, whether, they were too obsessive in the relationship or something like that, and you had to back away from it. So I would be cautionary about this person coming back unless you're really sure they are worth it.
Okay, and so I'm trying to magnify the when, and my 3 cards are all reversed. Interesting. I have a 4 of Wands reversed, a 3 of Wands reversed, and the Emperor reversed.
Well, I'm not sure in this case with timing that's as important. But what I would say is the wands seem to indicate that that's going to happen fairly soon, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'm going to say 3 to 4 weeks.
I would say about a month. I would say within a month, because
3 to
also
4
with
weeks.
the major arcana there. And again, I think this might rock your world a little bit, it seems to me. If I have to look at the reversals at all here and saying that, and it may not necessarily be a good thing.
Yeah, I'm getting that a little bit too, mostly from my look at the Emperor reverse card. And to me, that magnifies the idea that this may have been a tainted love, a tainted relationship. There were some things that were obviously resonating between you, but that maybe there was just this dark edge and this pull towards some self-destructive behaviors or some self-defeating behaviors. And I get the feeling that the Emperor reversed is kind of reinforcing that a little bit. What you got, Banshee?
I'm tossing and roiling over this one. This is an interesting combination. I will say this, I've got the Sun card here, and the Sun card tends to magnify, make positive cards that aren't necessarily all that positive. And with this card has a multiplicity of meanings. It's the broom or the rope. And basically, that card indicates some aggressive thing happening fast. So, what I'm thinking is this person's going to kind of push their way back into your life, for better or worse. And in a way, it might seem good that they're coming back in a way. But on the other hand, considering some of the other negative things we've had to tell you here, you really need to think of what that could mean, for you
It may
in the
very
long
well,
term.
it may very well be that this may be minor. This may be more of an affair, a brief thing that happens. Because I do feel that, of course, the Knight of Cups, whether reversed or
That's
not, is the coming or going. So I sort of feel like this may be something where it's a trial balloon. Like, hey, do you think it's time that we reapproach our situation again? And then maybe within a short amount of time you realize, well, let's just stay friends. That kind of thing. So that's what I think we're kind of feeling there, that this is a process of discovery. And
or
it's always
rediscovery in this case.
it's always okay to
Yeah.
give people another chance, or for other people to feel like they can take another chance, but you just have to be in control. And of course, the Emperor does represent that, the need to be in control. So I think that probably what that's telling me, Balkus, is that um, you'll be able to handle this however it does seem to roil in one way or the
Well,
other.
and I will say to you that maybe this isn't somebody you had a relationship with in the past, but it might be somebody that you know from your past. If it's not somebody you had a relationship with, it seems like there's some, at least to me, when you said that, it seems like there's some tie in to the past here.
Yeah, I strongly felt that as
Yeah.
well. So
So
I
I
hope
don't know
that
if,
worked for you.
yeah, I don't know if that makes sense for you, but that's what we're picking up right now from the cards. So feel free to come back. Thank you for tuning in with us, and
And
hope to
the
see you
opportunity to
again.
do a kind of challenging reading in a way.
Yeah, yeah. So hope to see you again.
Thank you, Balkus.
And we're going to move on now to, okay. Ka-
Every time you said it, Kaliel has
Kelly-El.
said yes.
Kelly-El, it's your turn. If I have
We're
said
sorry,
it right.
we don't mean to giggle at your name, but
No, I do not.
we're
I think
giggling
your
at
name is
ourselves, struggling
wonderful.
with it. Yes.
Yeah, that's just me. I struggle remembering people's names.
Thank
That's
you,
the
Balkus.
worst part for me.
Everybody calls this a beautiful soul.
Oh, thank you so much. We really
welcome.
appreciate that.
You're welcome.
We feel very beautiful today, celebrating our anniversary tomorrow. We are a team. And when we were getting together and designing some of the projects we have for the future, like our monthly reading, he came up with this idea, and then I just started throwing all these things at him, and he was just like, whoa, you took that in a direction I did not expect. And suddenly we were like, yeah, this works. And so that's what we are. We're a team, and we hope that, our working together helps benefit you guys.
Okay, so another question that might
Ah,
be a challenge.
okay.
What is
How
Mark's
he?
opinion
All
of you?
right. Let's see if I don't have something specific, we will do something.
Do we want to stick with my cards or flip back to yours?
Let's go to yours this time.
All right. And once again, I am using the Uh, Navigator's Tarot of the Mystic Sea. It has a tree of life on the back. This one is the Three of Pentacles. And I like this deck because all the human figures do not correspond to normal humans. There are pink, green, black, red, yellow. All the humans have different colors. So it's kind of interesting.
Okay, I'm going to try one of my 3-card spreads for you, Kelly-El. And basically, it's we're going to keep in mind your Mark, and we're going to think of Mark when we think of these particular positions in the spread. So the first one is what possibly attracts Mark to you, what's a possible distraction or turnoff to Mark, and is there really a connection between the two of you? So let's do that.
Oh, I didn't let you shuffle, did I?
You did not.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and shuffle those.
I'm going to shuffle and cut for you. We're a team until we aren't sometimes. And we get forgetful. Okay, Tana is with us. Welcome back. I'm going to add you to the list. We're moving along, so I will update everybody on where they stand in the list after we're done with Kelly-El. Kelly-El. All right.
Hey, loves.
Hey, back at you.
Okay, so how did you want to do this?
All right, so just lay out the first card, and the first card is going to be what attracts Mark to Kelly-El.
Well, maybe Mark thinks you're way out of range for him because he sees you as an emperor or as a dynamic personality who's very much in charge of their lives. So even if that doesn't mean that you're unapproachable to him, they do look at you this way as sort of an authority or leader of some sort.
Well, I think they definitely look. This Mark looks to you, looks up to you, and respects you very much so. So maybe there is a feeling of, am I worthy enough to be in, Kelly-El's presence?
Kelly-El, check out the cod piece on this dude. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little blurry there, but on the card it looks like a cod piece. So there. Okay, next card.
Then okay, thanks for that. I think the next thing is distraction or turnoff, and it's the Three of Wands, which is interesting. Maybe it's possible that Mark feels you have too much going on, or maybe
you're waiting for something else.
Yeah, that's right. That maybe you are not as interested in them. I think that's possible too. That you have, your focus on other things. And is there a connection between the two? What do we have?
Okay, well, at the top it says penetration, but it is the Knight of Swords. And I'm sorry if I'm being a little silly with that. The Knight of Swords is the penetrator, though. He is the person who propels themselves into things. So they take initiative and they kind of force their way into stuff.
So how does that work is there a connection between the two?
I guess what this tells me is that below the surface there's an attraction that possibly is both ways. It just may not be able to be acknowledged at this point in time for whatever reasons. I'm drawing a blank on that.
Well,
part.
I'm feeling that, the swords are a card of mental stimulation as well. I know this particular card in his deck talks maybe perhaps something else, but I will say that, penetrating thoughts, deep thoughts. In other words, it seems like you connect on a very, very mental level with each other, if that makes sense at all. And so I do think...
I believe she's having the vapors, as they say in the American South.
Well, I just didn't know what to say, you know. It was such masculine symbology there, you know. But at any rate, I do feel that there is definitely something that mentally connects the two of you. And, you know, you can go with his interpretation, you can go with mine. But there is definitely some type of attraction there,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
think so.
And I'm going to draw some of the Lenormand cards to see if
Priceless.
we can say any more. I am very expressive facially, I will say. You might see eye rolls from time to time, etc.
If I had to be honest, Kellyo, you haven't seen anything until you've seen me blush because I'm
Oh
quite the
dear.
blusher. I will turn 3 shades of crimson.
I don't know what it's going to take to make him do that here, but we can certainly try.
Yes, you can. So it does make sense to you in a way. Okay.
That's good. Okay. Let's see what these add to the equation. Well, I'm not sure what to make of this one. We have the sun again, and like I've said, the sun is a card that can take away some of the sting, shall we say, from more difficult cards, such as this one.
Is that the Sith?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering here if maybe there's a feeling that they have to. I don't know if they're involved, if Mark is involved with somebody else right now, but they have to cut something loose, I think, in order to have, you know, a
I have a
relationship or
specific glimpse here.
attraction. What
I
do
have
you
a
see?
feeling that what you're going to find out, possibly, you're going to find out because it's the Sun card, is that I believe Mark has lost somebody that was very important to them. And I believe that maybe they are still slightly in a mourning phase, so they're not, necessarily feel like they're free to move on just yet. I have a feeling that that's what's going on is that there was somebody Mark cared for and they want to just acknowledge that and give it some time. Maybe it isn't the actual passing of somebody, but maybe it's the passing of the relationship. So there is some sorrow about that. And the Sun card tells me that they're working through the process. They're trying to inform themselves more, illuminate, the areas of their life that they can.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting combination, to say the least. I'm kind of taken. I'm kind of thrown off by it a little bit here because the sun is such a positive card. It could indicate too that maybe the person still, again, does not feel worthy of you because the sun is showing such a successful card, and we are talking about their attitudes towards you, that they feel that. They're a cut below you, if I want to take it that way.
Interesting.
Hey, Jay, welcome to the live
Hi,
stream.
Jay.
I will definitely add you to the list if I can find my pen. Things are getting. Notice there is no CAT with us right now. The cats have flown the coop, which is really good. Look at, I've got all this room to work with here. I am not used to this.
Well, I think that when he was crying at the video image of you, he realized that you are hoaxing him now, and he's just plain indifferent.
I'm not sure, but I'll accept
So
that. So hey, esoterics, are you with us? Do we have to
you're
put up?
very welcome. Thank you.
And you are very welcome as always. It's good to have you here
Thank you
again.
for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I just broke my pen out of nervous Aries energy, apparently. Okay.
Go
That
with
was
the
crazy.
reading you feel for you. Okay, I'm going to let Banshee helm this one.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Thanks for that.
I have an idea,
When
though.
the going
Why
gets
don't
tough,
you
does the
pull...
Oberon get going?
I have an idea, though, and we can both be involved in this.
Okay.
Maybe I'll pull the card that I feel signifies what the reading should be about, and then you'll shuffle, you'll do the... Well, we'll both do that.
Hey, Ben. Welcome to our live stream.
Welcome, Ben.
I will add you to the list if you want a reading. And as soon as we're done with esoterics, I will update everybody on where they stand on the list.
So here's what I think. Ooh,
Okay.
bad decisions in general.
Go on. Because I didn't quite hear what you were saying. I was
Well,
busy.
I want this card to signify what the reading should be about.
Oh, okay.
Because they
Well,
wanted
I
us
think
to
it's
intuit that.
how to avoid maybe a false start in something, how to get a project off to or new adventure onto a better start. How does that sound?
Well, I also feel too like maybe there's some slight misgiving about whether you're actually taking the right steps or whether you've made any wrong moves. So it's a question about decisions you've made or a choice you've made. Do you want to do that kind of reading?
Uh,
You're not liking this.
no, it's not that I'm not liking it. I'm just trying to think where to go with it, and I think that the Fool, being more about a start, a new start, a new step, a new direction.
Okay.
So,
go
and
with
it
that
was
then.
reversed, so I'm thinking that how to avoid missteps in a new direction. That's what we're going to throw out there for you. And I'm going to draw, we're going to do 3 cards on it.
Okay.
I'm going to let you shuffle if you have not. Oh, look, our reading list rules just popped up. We've added that on.
I asked for it to pop
Oh,
up.
did you?
Yeah.
Oh, so it just popped up due to Mr. O here.
Kelly L says I should watch the video and watch for that reaction when
We
I
will both
set the
do that, I
pancake today.
guarantee you.
Yeah. It is our anniversary. Ah. All right. Do you want me to cut?
Sure. You did shuffle last, so you can cut. This is 1. This is 2. And this is 3. Okay. So how to avoid pitfalls with a new adventure or project. And the Queen of Cups reversed is to, remain.
Keep it real.
Keep it real. Don't get too pie in the sky. Don't have unrealistic expectations. Keep it real and keep your dreams, more, I won't say practical, but just not too far out,
This
you
is
wanna
the
add to
card
that?
that never works for me because I can never contain my imagination. And that a
It's
lot
true.
of times I always in my mind go through the scenarios and try to imagine however they twist and turn. And then typically the way it actually unfolds is nothing like that. Okay.
This is awesome.
For what position is this? Or
Well,
we're
these
doing
are
it?
just all together. We're doing
Ace
this
of
to show you.
Swords.
The Ace of Swords is indicating to me that, you should settle for nothing less than a successful result. And also that, this could be the start of something that could really expand your mind in some way.
Fly high, angel.
I think that's very positive. Victory could be assured with this endeavor so long as you keep it real, as we said with the first card. And also, another cautionary thing here is you have to realize that, this could cause you to make some more sacrifices of some things that maybe you're not willing to sacrifice right now at this time. Are you ready for some of the work that this is going to entail?
Yes, clearly that's what it looks like. And it's more about the struggle with the giving up. I don't think you're the kind of person that really would have a problem with that, but you don't want to if you don't have to. And so I sort of feel like there's a little bit of an inner battle between your will and your desire.
Right. So I think that that's the way to make sure something gets off on a more solid ground. And let me see.
Smiling Soul, you're right. We didn't ask Kelly L about the interview that they were going to have.
Oh, that's true.
So, Kelly L, if you're still around, you might want to throw that thought out there for us.
If you're willing to share.
If you're willing to share.
Thanks for that, Smiling Soul. I appreciate that. We should follow up with our peeps. But also feel free to just let us know.
Alrighty. So you're pulling the Lenormand.
I am.
Alrighty.
Well, okay. This is very interesting dichotomy here that I've got. I have the cross, which is usually endings, and I have the tree which is growth. Well, I could look at this two ways, but the way that I choose to look at this and what I'm really leaning towards here is that in order for this to grow and flourish, you're going to have to give something up. And I'm not sure what that's going to be, but it seems to me like even with the hangman reversed here, you're going to have to be willing to make some sacrifices that you may not be willing to make. So you might have to really think about this. But if you are ready to make those sacrifices, I believe something could really grow and flourish.
Yeah, but this makes me feel that the meaning of the hangman is reinforced and that this really is part of that struggle, that what it is you know or feel you will have to give up really has some strong hold on you in terms of how you feel about that. Is it like maybe you have to move to another area and leave behind what you have? Or is it that you have to make a big change in your work life or make a big change in your social life, leave certain people a little bit on the back burner? Something like this that really will be a challenge for you.
Hey, Natasha, thank you so much for becoming a new subscriber. Bravo.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. And I have added you to our list. So before I get to the list, let me just close up with esoterics here and say,
Wait a minute.
wait, let me finish this
Okay,
first.
go ahead.
I hope this helps esoterics, and I hope to talk to you again soon. And we're going to move on, and let's see what Kaliel said. Sure went really well. Okay, all right.
Very cool. Good luck.
Okay, Joelle, we're going to have to add you to the list. And speaking of the list, I'm going to update everybody as to where we stand right now. So we just finished with esoterics. We have Sarah, you are next, Smiling Soul, and then Josephine, Mimi,
Esoterics.
Tana, Ben, Natasha, and Joelle.
And we have less than an hour.
And we're going to do everything we can to keep moving. So if we remain short and we're not paying attention as much as we should to the chat, I hope you understand, because we're going to try to get everybody in today. But we will have to put a cutoff on it as far as new people goes, and we might be reaching that really soon.
Did
we'll
we
see.
forget Jay?
Oh, Jay. You know, I know when Jay came in. Let me take a look here. Hold on. Jay came in after esoteric, so actually Jay is right before Sarah. So I am sorry I almost missed you, Jay.
You sure about that?
Yep, I'm positive. Let me make sure. Because I am not seeing Sarah above Jay. I am just double checking.
Is Sarah below Jay?
I believe so.
I don't.
Oh. Give me 1 second as I look at my list with my apologies.
Yes, let's do the break thing. Whoops. Just give us one moment. We're going to review our list here. We want to make sure we get everybody in the right order that they should be.
Well, you know, I'm not seeing Sarah at all.
Hold on. We're asking for Sarah now.
Okay. Sarah, you are next if you are still here. We're sorry. We apparently missed you in our natural
And
order
then Jay
here.
will be after
And
Sarah.
Jay, you are next
and
after
then
that.
continuing from there,
Yes.
Smiling Soul, Josephine, Mimi.
Everybody else is in order. My apologies completely for that. So Sarah, do you happen to still be with us?
Okay, so we'll give a few seconds.
We'll give a few moments for that with my deepest apologies.
We're waiting to see if Sarah is here, Jay, and if not, then we're going to go ahead with you. In the meantime, I'm going to remind people that We have a daily reading on our Facebook page. That's TFT Tarot for today. And also, I'm going to remind folks that we have the Banshee's Soul Stories on YouTube as a special video. And these are incredibly cool stories with synchronicity, omens, and messages from Spirit. So the first one has posted. These will be about once a month. And I guess Sarah going once, going twice.
I lost Sarah, and I feel bad about that. I will throw her at the bottom after Joao. And we'll move on. Jay, you are absolutely now.
Okay, Jay, give us your question or thought. Gonna go back to my deck.
Yes. Okay, that's a past tense question. So let's do a yes or no for that. And I will, of course, get the Lenormand ready.
Is that pronounced Javier or is the J silent?
It's probably Javier.
Javier?
Would be my guess.
And you may shuffle.
All right. Okay.
Javier. Okay. Oh, okay. Javier. Javier.
Oh, really? Javier. Well, my bad.
You're not very silent either, Jay.
Which we appreciate. We love to have all this action in the chat room. All right. Yes, no. It'll take us a second to do this. Also on our Facebook and Twitter pages, I'm posting twice a week tarot haiku for all of the cards. Yes, in the tarot deck, I have created an upright, reversed, and general interpretation of every card, and we're on the minor arcana now, and I'll be tackling the twos this week.
Okay.
Possibly yes, but
The answer looks like it's more likely yes
It
than
was
no.
yes, because this was a past tense question, and I would have to say, was there a bit of conflict between the two of you?
Or I get the
Competition?
feeling like there was competition, like maybe there was another person or two, and so it was a matter of seeing who responded first or something like that.
Yeah, because you've got the Five of Wands here, which indicates a conflict or quarrels or competition with one another.
It can be
could
competition, it's not in earnest, i.e. just being in a similar situation and all vying for the same thing. Like
And it can be friendly competition as well, but I see flirt. It could absolutely be that as well.
Okay, so most likely they did have a crush on you, but maybe it didn't really matter because they're a flirt and they moved on somewhere else. I don't know, is that what you're thinking?
I think that could very well be.
Are you going to pull the Lenormand? Or?
I sure am.
All right.
Well, let me just say right from the get-go, from seeing these cards, this person was a playa of sorts.
The park?
We have the park or the garden and the fox, which means to me kind of crafty, sly, sneaky, sneaking around. Socializing is the park, which means maybe, I won't say multiple partners per se, but just getting out there and making themselves available in the social circles.
So it sounds to me like whether they had a crush or not, they maybe just weren't ready to be in a one-on-one relationship or even a slightly open relationship. They probably just really we're playing a more fast track approach to dating or random encounters, whatever you want to call that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I hope that makes sense. And that's what we have for you on that question, Jay.
All right, thank you, Jay. I hope
Yep.
that helpful.
And
Move
we
on.
are moving on to, we are up to Smiling Soul.
Smiling Soul. What do you have for us?
I
You
hope
said this was a bad week earlier.
well, and I was going to say, I hope your soul is smiling today.
Your deck?
I've got my Lenormand
Oh,
here.
okay.
Oh, I'll use my deck. Yeah, let me do that. What would you like to know, Smiling Soul?
Don't let us put you at the bottom of the list.
Oh, I know you're here.
Ooh.
Oh. Well, twin flame soulmates. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now, Natasha, are you throwing that at us or are you throwing that at Jay?
So we're going to do that as a yes or no for SS?
I think we're going to do that as a yes or no, and then we might throw another card. Oh, yes, us. Okay. Well, I kind of think we are in a weird sort of way. We were just talking about this the other way because I am an Aries, so I'm fire, and I'm a cardinal sign, so I am fire cardinal, and you?
I'm Scorpio, so I'm a water sign, and I'm a mutable water sign.
Which is really interesting. We feel like we are, opposites in that degree, and that we both give each other something that we need. I have this affinity for water. I've talked about this before. Like, I need and have to have that water in my life, and you.
I am drawn to fiery images. Scorpio itself is also represented by the phoenix, and those kind of images have always had attraction for me. And also, too, the idea of sacrifice or giving up something is really important to me, too, which is the essence of the phoenix, to die and be reborn for something better to be reborn. But another way to look at this too is that we've also had a small amount of regression work, people who've read for us, and people who do that have seen us in a number of past lives together.
Didn't they see us as brothers or sisters?
We are mostly seen to be siblings. Oftentimes we're the same gender. Less often are we actually different genders. Sometimes we're friends, but mostly we have some sort of family sibling relationship in many of our past lives.
And the one thing, did you shuffle these yet?
I did not.
Interesting, Kaliel. I think that it's a truth. Sometimes you just attract to the opposite, something that you need or are lacking. And I don't know. I think some of the secret to why we are together is, we've had, the longer you stay together, I mean, sometimes people grow apart. People, their frustrations and their anger tear them apart. But for us, it's been a lot of the trials and tribulations that we have had to face together that I think over the years have brought us closer together.
That does sound like some sort of possible working, whether it's Santeria or voodoo or some sort of hoodoo or some sort of spellcraft. It does have a sound about that. Eggs are usually used in some spell work for protective reasons, but not always. Would they be trying to cast protection for themselves by maybe keeping something away from you?
Oops, I lost count. 1, 2, 3.
Uh-oh.
I thought so. I needed one more. Okay.
This is a very colorful deck you're using there.
Thank you. Just don't mess up my count. Well,
Alrighty.
This is interesting. I'm going to tell it like I see it here. The first card I drew was the Ace of Coins reversed. So we only have one ace. The second card I drew is the Queen of Cups reversed.
Was she
Oh, I'm
reversed?
sorry, upright.
She was upright.
Upright, yes, yes. And the third card upright is the Nine of Swords upright. So what I'm getting from this is that no, I don't think they have.
Or that it wasn't directed at you.
And even though this card is upright, you might be letting your emotions get the best with you on this one a little bit. So, and maybe, kind of think about that a little bit because I'm coupling that with the Nine of Swords, which to me is also sorrow or worries or despair that maybe you're bringing upon yourself in this situation. So I'm thinking you don't have to worry about the person to that extent. Maybe they are doing some things that aren't necessarily in your best interests, but don't get too carried away with worrying about it because it looks like, no, I don't believe that they've done a spell.
No, I don't either. I sort of feel that it is possible that these qualities of the Queen and the Nine of Swords could be applied to the other person, perhaps, and just saying that they have an emotional component of their own that they're working through, and that maybe because I wouldn't necessarily understand what people's actions are either when they start playing around with eggs and candles and stuff. But I don't think so. I just get the feeling like maybe this is more about them. And sometimes, too, people let people see things because they think that it magnifies their own reputation with you. So maybe they were comfortable with you seeing this thing that they were doing because they wanted you to have questions or concerns about it, and they didn't necessarily want to give you information. Ah, done it with other people. Well, that's interesting.
Well, for better or worse, they might have a lot on their mind right now. I'm sensing I've got the 3, which is the ship, and I have the heart, which means to me that either they may be moving away from somebody right now, I mean on a mental or physical level.
Are we talking about the person that...
Yes.
Okay.
I think so, and not you in this case, Smiling Soul. I think this is the person that they might have lost somebody right now, maybe ended a relationship or somebody has moved on from them. They're undergoing some changes right now, and I think that's really what's on their mind at present. They're looking at somebody or something moving away.
Are you talking about the woman who did the egg thing, or are you talking about
Yes,
the person?
I am.
Okay.
Well, and it's possible that this is, well, it could be talking about you, but since you asked a question related to this other person is why I read it that way. So I'm thinking that maybe they're worried about some changes, and it's on a heart level, which looks to me like it might be a relationship or somebody close to them. It could be family. It could be some family things that they're going through. So, maybe some of the stuff that is happening has nothing to do with you so much personally as it is to some difficulties that they're facing in their own lives right now. And you know how some people are, how when things go wrong, they kind of take it out on everybody else. They displace their anger, they displace their anxieties onto other people, which is never a good thing to do. But I think we all do that sometimes to some extent.
I'm thinking that this person who does things with eggs that look mystical or whatever in front of a number of people, they're trying to attract more attention to themselves, and it's possible that they are gearing towards something, but I don't think it directly affects you in the situation. I'm just not so sure that I see that, so I'm hoping that is helpful. I get the feeling like maybe they're just a person that needs more attention, so you can probably be better off not giving them that attention.
Okay, I am going to read the list one more time. That's the best we've got for you right now, Smiling Soul. I hope that helped. I'm going to read the list one more time, and I'm just going to suggest that we're probably going to cut it off with this. So everybody that's on the list now, and I'll read your names, that's who we're going to read for. If we do have some time later, it's possible we could fit in somebody coming in late, but there are no guarantees. Because right now I'm seeing the next person we're reading for, if they're still here, is Josephine, and then Mimi, and then Tana, Ben, Natasha, Joelle, and Sarah, if Sarah's here. And if Sarah's not here, again, we might be able to fit somebody else in. But right now we've got a number of readings and we're at our last half hour, so I want to make sure we can get to everybody.
So Josephine is up. If you're still here, time to come forward and ask your question or indicate the reading you would like, a general reading.
And Mimi, you'll be after Josephine.
Mimi will be after Josephine. Well, we only got a month and a half to go.
By 2020, well, that's a tall order.
Or by the end of 2020.
You're going to have to get busy to maybe create some of those openings for yourself, you know.
We'll use my deck.
Yes, we will. Okay.
Okay, so how do you want to do that?
All right. Well, let's just see. Do you want to do, well, she has to, it is actually, will I be working and in a happy relationship? It's two different things.
So let's do 3 cards and see how that pulls.
You know what? Why don't we do it this way? Why don't we do 2 simultaneous yes/no questions? So you will do the relationship one and with your cards, and I'll do the working one with mine, and we'll shuffle like we did before.
I'll give them another shuffle.
So one way we can answer 2 questions at once. If they're yes/no, we can do it.
Shuffle when you can.
So we'll see what they say. All right. It's kind of hard when we do a 3-card spread to do more than one question. So that's what we're going to try to do it this way and keep it brief for you and just give you some insight on where you're headed in the year, you know, till just before 2020 sets in.
And we'll let you pull reading first.
Well, actually, we're doing yes/no's. So
right, I know.
Why don't you count out yours? And yours is for the relationship and mine is for the career.
Go forth.
What do you, okay.
I have 2 aces.
Well, the relationship was first, so.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, was not work? Okay, working. Okay, what I've gotten for you is it's leaning towards no at the moment. It is leaning that way. But remember, this is just a snapshot in time, and you yourself can make changes necessary to make it happen, a reality. And right now, some of the deciding cards here are the 4 of Cups.
No, that's a 6.
I'm sorry, the 6 of Cups reversed, which, that's interesting. I was looking at that the wrong way. And the 8 of Swords upright. And I kind of feel this is saying the same thing right now. You must have had, I don't know if you've had a job loss recently. Is that correct? Because it looks to me like you're kind of stuck right now and unsure of where you're going to proceed or what's going to happen for you or where you should go next. The 8 of Swords is kind of like that. You're feeling like you're operating blindly right now a little bit.
Both of those seem to suggest the idea that there's a new direction possibly coming, but what it is it's you need to really focus to find that direction because you possibly have different options, and maybe that's what the situation is that you have enough skill sets or experience that would qualify you to move in different directions, but it's really about figuring out the right direction and moving forward that way.
Hi, Kim. I see you're new, and I just made an announcement that we were cutting off readings for today, but I'm going to put you on the bottom of the list just in case we make it. We have a half hour left, and I can't guarantee we'll be able to fit you in today. But with you on the list, that's definitely going to be the last one that we can say that to. And so, what do you have to say
Okay,
about?
back to Josephine in the relationship. It looks good. I'm a little bit daunted by the wording of your question, because by 2020 seems to me imply once 2020 starts, and that's, like I said, a month and a half away. So in my mind, I'm thinking just somewhere within 2020 is a more practical way to look at that. And I'm seeing the possibility being yes, and that actually
What do you have there? Which one is that? Oh,
4 of Wands.
whoa. This could lead to something bigger.
Yeah, because the 4 of Wands often implies possibly marriage. Usually, we've been kind of generalizing that to indicate that maybe you're aware of a marriage. It's not yours, it's a good friend of yours. But because of the nature of the question,
I
it
think,
looks to me like maybe there is a marriage proposal coming to you somewhere within 2020.
well, there is another possibility too that if this is a question of if you are going to meet someone, uh, to me, this could be that you will meet them at some kind of gathering or celebration.
Oh, okay.
That's possible as well. So keep that in mind and eyes wide open when you're, in a social atmosphere like that, a wedding, whatever the case may be. Hey, it could even happen at a funeral. You never know. But
So
some gathering.
relationship looks more likely to happen than the employment. The employment looks like there's an amount of focusing or redirecting your energies that's involved.
But be aware that nothing happens without some effort. The mountains indicate some obstacles for you, and the 21 is the path, and so the pathway is indicating that there are some obstructions, or there may be some. You may meet this person, but there might be some difficulties hooking up in the beginning. So there may be some delays before this thing really takes off. And as far as the career goes, one final thing I will add about jobs is that it looks to me like something has to end in order for success to happen. You have the stars and you have the coffin. And the coffin to me means you're ending a cycle of some sort to begin something new, whether it's a new course of study or even a new direction with with where you want to go, what you want to do with your life, work wise and career wise, and maybe a new direction for you. I'm thinking out differently from this job situation you just came from will be successful for you.
Well, I get the feeling too that maybe that ending is connected to the idea that maybe the last employment wanted to sort of leave a door open with you. And so they maybe have you in a holding pattern, like, well, okay, maybe we're going to call you back, but we need you to, make sure you're available. I would say disregard that. Focus on yourself. Unless there's something really valuable to staying with the last place, if they're going to make an overture like that, they want you to be available to them, you have to make them really come up with something more substantial.
Okay, so I hope that helps somewhat, Josephine, and
Thank
that's
you.
what we're seeing right now at present for you. And Mimi, if you are with us, we're ready, willing, and able to give you your reading now. You'll have to remind us because I'm. You'll have to remind us though. That could be. Could you go take care of that?
I don't want to.
You should. We have a slight delay. We'll be right back with you.
Keep talking, or do you want me to put on the break?
I'm sorry about the delay. We just had somebody knocking on our door, and I felt it was very important. We're having some work done on our driveway here, and that was a very important message for us. So I apologize for the delay.
Boring. Oh, except for the fact that they want both of our cars out of the driveway before 7:30 in the morning because they will.
You know what? That might be very possible because we're supposed to be leaving early to go to your mom's tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that.
So we will
I
be
thought I
out.
was going to work.
But
Wait,
sadly,
no.
we're not going to be able to park in our driveway for about a week,
You're
which
welcome,
is
Josephine.
disappointing.
Yeah.
So, Mimi, I see your question. Will Dario contact you? And that is definitely a yes/no. How about we use my deck? I'll get it for you. And we'll give you some Lenormand cards to supplement that, Mimi. Thank you for being patient and waiting, everybody who's still on the list. And we'll try to go into slight overtime to get everybody in if we have to. So we will cut it off with Kim if Kim is still with us. So you will be last, Kim. But we still have a number of people to get to before we get to you, so be patient. Wow, well, we've had some interesting things going on in our live stream today. I wouldn't have interrupted our live stream for that, except it must have been a psychic flash that I knew this was an important message we needed to hear.
No, it's just the reasonable expectation that somebody will always complicate our lives a little bit.
And that it's Mercury retrograde. And of course, something like that would interrupt the live stream. And we have this screen.
Take care of yourself, dear.
Oh. Uh-oh. You know, I am a person who falls a lot, and thankfully my personal trainer over the years has been working on my balance issues, which are much better, but I'll tell you what, I have done some damage falling. Cutting?
Yeah, I forgot
I know.
to cut. A card fell out, Mimi, and I'm going to wait and reveal the card after the reading because I think there is a sense that it is important, but I'll tell you what that card was in a minute.
Yeah, we have this we will be back soon or technical difficulties message we should put up when these things happen, but sometimes we just don't remember to do that.
It's Picard.
Oh. And I'm reading with another Ciro Marchetti deck that I have. I've been reading with his Tarot Grand Lux, which is his latest deck, but this is the Tarot of Dreams, his previous deck, which I really love as well. Very colorful, very emotive. I get a lot out of reading from his cards.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to say that it's leaning towards no at the moment. Seems to me we've got the Ace of Wands upright here, which means, you know, it's only one ace, which is indicative of it's leaning towards no. We do have the King of Swords here, which is an interesting card as well. And the King of Swords indicates that he seems to have a lot on his mind. There seems to be some real heavy decisions that have to be made right now. And I don't know if Dario is making the decision whether or not he wants to contact you or not.
The card that fell out was the Eight of Wands, which sort of indicates speed or activity that's moving at a quicker pace. And so I felt that whatever it was going to do, you would know sooner than later. So if they weren't going to contact you, this would become a fact sooner. If they are going to contact you, it's going to happen soon. But I get the feeling like it's not going to happen, and that maybe the wherefores of this will happen sooner than later. So it's possible that maybe you need to contact them and just kind of ask them what is their situation and whether, you know, there's anything going to be happening that connects you.
The Page of Cups, to me, this is the other card that was drawn, is indicative of somebody who's really got high hopes and dreams and aspirations. And I'm almost wondering, Mimi, if this is you and, you're really, really wishing for this to happen in some way. But yet, I sense that now that he talked about the Eight of Wands being the card that he dropped, that he is just very preoccupied right now, whether it's with other people, whether it's other situations, and can't maybe reach a decision on that yet, or it's possible the decision's been made to move on to other things.
Tell Kellyo what the name of the deck is.
Oh, this is the Tarot of Dreams by Ciro Marchetti. Ciro Marchetti, I think his website, Kaliel, is ciromarchetti.com, and that's Ciciro and Marchetti, Marchetti.com. He publishes out of US Games, but you ought to go to his website because he has awesome products there. He does a lot of like cloths, reading cloths with his artwork on them that are absolutely beautiful. I have one of his Lenormand reading cloths, which is fantastic. And he has all of his decks listed there that he has done. So you just might want to take a look at some of the imagery that he's put together there on his website.
All right.
So let me throw some Lenormand on this and see if I get a little bit more for you, Mimi. Okay, Joelle, you're still on the list, trust me, but we have a couple people in front of you still. Actually, about 3. Oh, awesome, Kaliel. I think, yeah, he is just amazing, and his products are fantastic. We know somebody else through another list we belong to who collects his decks. And he has some that I only wish I was able to get a hold of, some limited edition ones. All right, let me see what I have here. It seems to me right now what I'm indicating here is the dog and the sun, that Dario right now seems like could be more of a friend or companion of some sort, more casual, than that there would be more success there than in an actual relationship.
Yes, you're going to find this out, that probably what will happen is you will make some sort of question or point to them, and they're going to kind of spell out their intentions, and that maybe for the time being, although there may be a hint of something else there, they're going to sort of just try to stay friends with you is what it looks like. So they may contact you about that. I don't know.
Well, and the other thing I would suggest is that, this person, obviously, maybe the thing is too, is to try to develop more of a friendship and a camaraderie and a companionship with this person, as opposed to going further at this time, that in the end, maybe something more could develop from that.
Well,
and that's what it looks like at this time. And look who's come to join us. Sun Man is here. Thank you for holding on so long, Mimi, and we're glad we got to you. And Tana, if you are still with us, it is your turn. And after Tana is Ben, Natasha, Joao. If Sarah's come back, it would be Sarah and then Kim. How you'll meet your future hubby and what he may be like towards you and your relationship. Okay. So I think we'll do 3 cards for each of those. You just kind of made the spread for me there, Tana. The first card will indicate how you'll meet the person. The second card, what he may be like towards you. And the third card will be what the relationship will be. If there will be a relationship, I guess, and how it will be. Shuffle. And next time we'll use your deck. So I want to thank everybody today for joining us because this is a great way to spend our anniversary weekend doing what we do best, trying to help some others out as a team. Team.
I was waiting for somebody to say that, Tina, because he was looking right at the camera, and he also looks at the monitor too. And I think
He's
he
watching
notices
me on the
himself.
monitor.
Yeah, right now he's watching you on the monitor.
So the first card is how you will meet. Whoa. Well, you got the Nine of Swords up right here. And I'm going to say that this is kind of an odd thing to me for me to say, but you could meet at a sad event, a funeral, maybe a hospital, maybe somewhere where there has been some disappointment.
A support group.
A support group, very good.
You know, groups where people talk about stuff, church groups.
That's true too. It could even be a church, something that is more somber.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a book club.
I would say that's true. It's an interesting card to get in that position, but it is highly possible. I believe it is true that my mother met my father at a funeral.
And I've, maybe not in recent years, but I've heard of that quite a lot, maybe going back a little ways.
And so the second card is basically what he may be like towards you. Well, I don't know. There's some definite, I think what it is that...
Tower reverse.
How would you, do you want to start that one? I have thoughts, but they're kind of jumbled, almost like the Tower reverse.
It kind of goes with the first card in the sense that this person may be coming off of something tragic or traumatic in their lives. So maybe the first card really pertains more to them meeting you, right? It was about the meeting.
Well, it's about that, right.
And that they meet you after they're coming off of something that was painful for them. So maybe it's a broken relationship. Maybe it's a passing of somebody that was in a relationship. But I get the feeling too that they are restructuring themselves. What was the position?
It's how they
relate to you?
Yeah, what they may be like towards Tana.
They're restructuring themselves, so they probably have to learn a little bit about restructuring their approach to relationships too, because it may be, and I'm getting the feeling like they might have been just in a really bad relationship where maybe they were sort of abused in a way. I'm sort of picking that up, like maybe they're the survivor, not necessarily of a relationship where somebody died, but they're the survivor of an abuse or a sadder situation, and they're restructuring their life to become human again or become alive again. What do you say?
Well, what I'm going to say is that since this is about how they're going to treat you, is that I feel like they haven't learned enough from a lot from their previous encounters, their previous relationships, and that might be reflective on how they treat you a little bit. They have a lot they need to learn, and maybe you will be the teacher, basically, of some karmic lessons that they need to understand.
Tana just indicates that this card seems to be more about them.
Oh.
So, right, maybe the way that this person relates to you is the fact is they see this rebuilding, this restructuring and refounding yourself, and either that inspires them to want to be with you, to help you, to feel a part of your rebirth.
I still feel too that this might be indicating to me that the person that you're going to meet is somebody who probably had a negative experience from a previous relationship, and they still, they're going to be processing all that with you, and so they're going to have a lot to learn from you, and I think that you ought to keep that in mind and keep them on the right track.
Maybe the idea that you're both coming from some similar situations of pain or trust issues is what will really be bringing them towards you, because they see in you somebody that is kindred in a way.
And the final card is you were asking about how the relationship, what will the relationship be like? Well, I will tell you right now, you have the devil, but the devil is reversed, which is, of course, the way I like to see it. And basically, the devil reversed means that it's going to be kind of liberating for both of you. You're going to be feeling like, there's a release from things that have tied you down or held you back in the past. If there were any bad habits or things that, you're going to be able to break free of them because the relationship that you have between each other will fulfill, your obsessions and your desires and your needs. And so I think that it's going to be a big release for the both of you. And that's positive. That's definitely a positive.
This card really speaks totally of overcoming some bad stuff. Usually it's your own look at yourself, your character, the things that held you back. This card really speaks totally about overcoming that and building something different, liberating yourself, like Banshee said. And I get the feeling like maybe this person really has a lot of like similarities in those past relationship situation there. So it really does sound like there's going to be a lot that draws you together because you really do have so much in common.
I'm going to throw a couple Lenormand very quickly because we have at least 4 people on the list, possibly 5. And I see we have somebody else who entered the room, Divinia Kyre 11. We won't be able to fit you in today for a reading. I apologize,
We are
but
sorry.
I thank you so much for joining us. We're going to go into a little bit of overtime finishing up who we have. So if you join us next time and you get here early enough, do you want to put up our stream schedule while I'm shuffling?
We'll be back this Thursday. We're Eastern Standard Time, 7 to 9 p.m. And then we're Sundays 2 to 4. So join us again. We really have a number of readings to get through in the small amount of time allotted to us. So we appreciate you coming, Divinicare. We hope you can come again.
Well, Jay, add the Lenormand, Tina. This is very interesting to me. I hate to say this. I don't know. Are you ready for this? There's a stork here. And there is also a gentleman card, which could just be a partner, however you read it. But clearly the stork is indicating something new. It could indicate a birth or a baby, but it can also indicate the fact that there's a new relationship afoot with a partner coming. So I would say within this next year, there's definitely going to be some blossoming.
It looks pretty good. I would have to agree with that too.
Yes.
So we wish you luck with that. And
we do wish you luck.
Keep us in touch.
And Ben, are you still with us, Ben?
They're here.
Oh, there you are.
All right, Ben. Your moment has
Thank
arrived.
you so much for waiting. Could you let us know your question again, or if you want a general reading?
General reading or a specific question that you might have?
Okay, you're welcome, Ben. So what do you want, a general, just or do you have a question? If you have a question, just type it out now, and if not, just say general, and we'll go with it. You're welcome, Tina.
And Sonny Boy is looking at you too. All right, a very difficult situation.
Okay.
Is that a question though, or do you want us to try to see what we see there?
We could just draw some cards and see what we pull. Hi, Eleni. Sadly, we won't be able to fit you in today because we're so busy. We're going to run into overtime with who we have, but we're glad you joined us, and come to our next live stream and we'll try to fit you in.
Okay, we have the idea from them.
Okay. So you'd like to know if he is playing around, I would say. So we'll do a yes/no question on that and see what we get. And then I'll draw some Lenormand.
We are here again at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time this next Thursday.
And then 2 to 4 next Sunday, Eastern Standard Time.
So you sort of have a sense of how to ask the question.
We're going to do a yes/no to find out if
there's
he is playing
other
around.
involvement.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Well,
Eleni.
we will see what the cards say, but remember, we're only reading the cards, and you'll have to, take these cards for what they're worth and use your own intuition and gut feelings as to how you should proceed from there. Always try to be a little careful with questions like those. But we'll see what the cards seem to indicate. And Sunny is facing the camera today. I am impressed. Sunny apparently is our tarot cat. The others don't seem to come around that much when we're doing these readings. But I think he loves being on camera. Okay, it'll just take me a second. Okay, one more. Okay, well, it's leaning towards no, but I do have a cautionary tale here. We got the Ace of Swords reversed, which is meaning that it's leaning towards no, which is, yeah, interesting. I know you have your suspicions. And this card, the Knight of Cups, upright, does indicate to me that, if nothing else, I can see why you feel the way you do, because I feel this person's mind could be wandering. That's the Knight of Cups upright, and this could be the card of a little bit of an emotional player here. So I want you to keep that in mind. And I also have the Two of Wands reversed. And the Two of Wands reversed could make me feel that maybe there is something that your partner is unsatisfied with right now in the relationship at present time.
I am getting the feeling that they're having a hard time verbalizing a sense of sort of not happiness, but it's not about a big unhappiness. It's just specifically maybe about where they see a particular direction going. That there may be some mutual project beyond just the idea that there's a partnership or a marriage there, that maybe there's a specific goal, and they may not be happy about that. It must also relate maybe a little bit to the emotions. So I'm not exactly getting a total picture there.
Well, I'm feeling that this may be something that, yeah, this person is not telling you about, not being clear about. But also you got to remember that even if it's not the Two of Cups, it is a two, and then it does take two to tango here. So I'm getting the feeling that this dissatisfaction is something that the two of you need to address and work out together. And if you have some suspicions or worries, maybe it is time to address them on sub level and just say, what do we need to do to set us back on a proper course here?
Yeah, I actually, within me, my instinct feels that's not necessarily a very forward thing, that they are clearly trying to find other interests outside of your marriage. It may be that you're picking up on some amount of attractions or feelings that they do have on occasion, but I don't think those are the real issue. I think the real issue is something else that's not being verbalized or articulated very well. And like I said, I think it has something to do with a project or a mutual goal that you're working on. Like maybe you are trying to invest in a new home or a new major piece of property or equipment or something.
Well, it's funny you mention that, because the Lenormand that I've drawn for you are the. Which one are you showing first? The
snake.
Snake, and the fish. And the fish are kind of about financial matters and possibly property, but more about finances. Like maybe somebody feels there's some sneaking around with money and finances going on here. It could also indicate flow in some way because the fish are moving through water. And the snake, kind of slithers on the ground too. So I do think there is some sneakiness or underhandedness going on here, but it may be with something else entirely.
Okay, Ben, would you care to say what each of your astrological signs are? Because I get the feeling like these, to me, are archetyping to your differences. A snake has a certain mode of being, a fish has another mode of being. For general purposes, fish might be a little bit more calmer and maybe more able to swim in the body of water, i.e., the body of humanity, whereas the snake maybe slithers through that a little bit. And so the snake is more of the outsider of human condition or emotions, and the fish is somebody that sort of slides in between them. Just the thought that maybe there are aspects in your chart that maybe make you have some contrariness. It's not like saying you're incompatible, but it is saying that maybe those are finer points that you need to embrace with each other. So talk is good. Talk is good is what I'm thinking, and that there may be something that still is unsaid going on.
Yeah, I think so. I think you are justified in having some suspicions, but there may be something else going on here that you need to finally just say to the person, hey, can we come clean with each other? What is going on? Things are not the same. Is it something I've said or done? Really try to dig into deeply into this. That's what I would suggest.
Okay,
We're gonna
and
move on.
yeah,
Yes.
and how many more do we got? Because we are at our. Oh dear. We're definitely going into overtime.
Oh, Sarah came back. Well, Sarah, you are on the list, but you are a little lower, so hang
You're
in
welcome,
there.
Ben.
I put you back on the list. We are going into overtime, but we are taking nobody beyond the people that are on the list. And right now, I have Natasha as being next, then Joao, and
And
then
then you,
Sarah,
Sarah.
and then Kim. And we are taking you in that order, and nobody after that.
Okay, so Natasha, if you're with
You're
us,
very welcome,
please.
Ben, and good luck and check in
Good
with
luck.
us again.
Natasha had already put out the idea of a question, didn't they?
I believe so, but it's probably further back there. Natasha, are you with us? And if you are, could you restate your question? We'll give you a couple minutes. Oh, there you are. Can see what will be coming towards me in love when it comes along. What will he be like? Will there be marriage when he comes in?
All right. Do you want me to use my deck?
Yes, so
Thoughts?
that's a three-parter too. We're going to throw 3 cards. So it's basically what will be coming towards Natasha in love. And when it comes along, what will that person be like? And will there be marriage in the future? Oh, there goes the butt, Kaliel. As usual. And you know what it is? It's because Sonny seems to be my cat. He really does glom to me. And so we're the best buds, I think, out of the 3. And so he's always facing me.
And he hears your voice on the video and he cries.
So if we switch our camera and computer around here, then maybe you'd be able to see Sonny's face more. I want to thank everybody, even if we are going into overtime, it's on us. We'll probably need to watch our time with people's readings. We want to give you as much information as we can.
If you weren't able to get your reading today, we will be back on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then once again on Sundays. So we thank you for understanding. Hope to see Butterfly and others come back.
Holy moly is all I have to say. You can't be at it today, Butterfly. We apologize, but do join us again.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my goodness, Natasha.
Yes, that's correct. It's the most Eastern Standard Time. So the first time as you're coming across, moving towards Central Time, Pacific Time, etc.
This is big. Natasha. Holy moly. I have a lot of stuff to tell you here. We do. So let me just say, first off, your first question was, what is coming towards you in love? That's judgment, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's realization. So I think something might be coming towards you, and it's going to have some karmic implications of some sort. So be aware that what you put out there to the universe, you're going to receive back. So, in other words, that could be good in a relationship and that could be bad. So, I kind of think it's on you to attract something for your higher or greater good.
This sounds to me like a person who is spiritually advanced and is equitable with your own level of spiritual advancement. So I think that's what it is, and that you may both be coming to this realization.
Well, remember, this is what is coming. And I think
Yes.
it's a relationship with karmic implications, or because this is about the person.
Okay.
Okay, so let's keep that in mind. Let's move on, though, because this person that you are attracting is a real wheeler and dealer of sorts. When things are up for them, they're up. When things are down, they can be really down. I'm not going to say, I don't want to use I don't know how to say this, but let's just say they go to extremes sometimes of good times and bad times. So you have to be ready to go with the flow with this individual, I think.
So this describes the person?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a person who has lots of luck and potential for manifesting their highest desires, but like everybody, they are in a cycle. So it may be that, the cycle isn't always at peak.
I have to say that even though that is not my card, the Wheel of Fortune does epitomize cycles for me, because when things are going good for me, they just go great and they keep building on a momentum. But then when that wheel turns the other way, it can really crash and burn. And so that's what I'm thinking. This person is going to be a person of some extremes, and you have to be kind of ready for that.
Okay.
And then I would say to you that it was marriage in the future. What do you think, Mr. O?
The Two of Cups is harmony and definitely is a strong symbol towards a partnership or a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there is definitely some strong relationship coming your way, and it could lead to marriage, but if nothing else, it's going to be a deep relationship for as long as it lasts. I would say the outlook is good for marriage, but there's definitely a strong partnering that's going to happen.
Yeah,
And I'm going to throw a
sooner than
couple
later.
Lenormand for you really quickly, and
Your
we'll
cards
move
are
on.
very positive.
The cards just very positive, and you've got two major arcana cards here, which means to me that this is kind of epic, wouldn't you say?
Epic. I used to watch Buffy the Vampire
You're
Slayer.
very welcome, Natasha. Let me just toss
One
a
more
couple.
card for you.
Yep,
Or
just a
two.
couple more.
Two more. Hold on.
Give me 1 second.
There was a vampire character on Buffy the Vampire Slayer who described her relationship with Angel as an epic love story. Okay, that's a little bit creepy.
Okay, you've got the home and you've got the cutting card here, the sky psych. And I'm thinking that you're going to cut ties with maybe some family and friends for this relationship in a way. There's going to be a cutting away at something. You may have to move. You may have to make a major shift of some sort with with your comfort level.
What is the for?
That's the home.
Oh, okay. Yes, it sounds to me that way too, that you would probably start a new home somehow with this person.
And maybe a new life to some degree. It's something that's maybe a little bit different for you.
This is epic, the scythe. I'd say it's the cutting away, It's sort of...
But you have a great outlook here. I want you to keep that in mind because this is looking really good for you, Natasha.
Alrighty.
And Joelle, it is your turn. I know you're still with us.
Right, they've just indicated that.
Okay, well then that might be good for you. Awesome. Joelle, you'll have to refresh us again on your question. Okay. That's a yes, no, and we can do that. You want my deck?
Yes, go
All
ahead.
right.
Well, we certainly want that to happen to you.
You're
If
welcome,
you think
Natasha.
it's a good
Thanks
one.
for sticking
And
with
you're
us.
welcome. Thank you for sticking.
And after Joelle, Sarah, it will be your turn. We are into deep overtime today, but we wanted to make sure we got everybody in. We spent a little time in the beginning talking about our anniversary and stuff. 38 years tomorrow, and Mr. O's birthday is tomorrow as well.
Yes.
So we wish him a
It's
happy
hard to believe,
Scorpio
but I'm 39
birthday.
again.
No, he is not 39. We've been married for what? 38 years. You are not 39. All right, you can shuffle. Okay, well, we'll see what it says. We'll see if you should accept it. That's what you really want to know, not about whether you're getting the offer. So we will focus on whether you should accept that offer. Because hopefully you'll get it and you'll have that opportunity. Thanks for that. I've lost count. Okay, 3.
I am Mr. Scorpio. 30 in hexadecimal.
Well, this is very interesting to me, Joelle. I'm not sure what to say, but it's leaning towards no. And we've got the Ace of Wands reversed. That's the thing it's telling me. It's leaning towards no. You have the Hanged Man upright. And you have the Three of Pentacles reversed. And so I'm looking at this and thinking to myself that you would have to make a lot of sacrifices in order to make this work for you. There's something you would have to give up. And I don't know if you're ready or willing to do that. And also, it seems to me that it's not the best place to put your talents or energy. It may be in the end that you may feel like you're, like not that you're wasting your time and your talents, but that you're not putting out your best there. It's not bringing out the best in you, this job, I feel.
Well, the question actually was, should you accept the offer? And I'm
Right.
going to say probably not. And probably the reason you shouldn't accept it is because they want you to make a sacrifice that you won't be willing to make, and that they don't really have a way of viewing your talents in the regard that you want them to. Like they would have work for you, but it may not be the work that you're best or most suited for or that you really want to do.
Well, I could accept either of those, and either of those are a possibility. So you could look at that either way. It sounds like it is not personally the place that, if anything, you might want to consider it short term if you really want to make that move. But I would suggest to you that you will not want to stay there long term with what I'm seeing there.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like it's the best fit. I mean, it would be good if you want to, build and use it as part of your building, but it's not a place that I think you would necessarily want to stay there. You might feel appreciated, but you might also feel that you're underutilized.
Yes, and if anything at all, I think this reinforces it. We have the pathway and we have the stars. And so what I would suggest to you is to consider, if you do this job at all, to consider this just a path on the way to your eventual success. It is not here at this job that you would find success. I really believe that.
No, it looks like no is what it looks like. It looks like this offer will not be coming to you, is what we're thinking. Don't you think that?
Well, I did, that wasn't the question I leaned in with, but if I looked at these cards to answer that question, I would say no as well.
Well, because that was their question, was would they get the offer or should
No,
they take the offer?
should they take the offer? He said he's thinking he might get an offer.
I see.
So I think it stands to reason you might, because that's not the way I thought about it when we were shuffling, that you might get the offer, but it is not, you may want to think about what they're offering you and if it is the right thing for you, really. And like I said, if you're willing to use it as a stepping stone for something else, then that's what you should do. And that's
Well,
what I have. You pulled it.
I pulled this one just because I sort of sense you're still, looking at an opportunity here. And the interesting thing is that this does suggest maybe that there's some sort of celebration or gathering that celebrates something. So maybe it's possible that you're going to take it and feel like, it's a reward for the work you have done. Maybe you could be happy there. I sort of feel like that is a possibility.
I'm sticking with what I said.
Okay.
And leaving it at that. So we'll see about this, Joelle. But I really do think there's probably, something else that's maybe better for you that you should hold out for. So I'm not sure this is it, but let's see if that offer manifests itself.
You'll have to let us know.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know, and we're going to leave it at that for you and move on to Sarah.
Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Once again, we are calling your name.
We're so glad you came back to join us and that we're able to fit you in.
If you're still here.
If you're still here, here you are. How
All
does
right.
Tori feel about you?
Oh.
All right. Why don't we use your cards for this?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to do something that I did with Kaliel. And basically, so we're going to see if Tori is attracted. If there is something that what the turnoff or distraction might be. And is there a connection between the two of you?
Okay, between being a fire and air sign, those are not totally bad.
No, they're not.
They're okay. They're okay.
I mean, look, we made fire and water work after all. And
in general, Leos are often attracted to any situation where they feel can kind of magnify and puff them up a little bit. So if you make this person feel good or make this person look good in a certain way, then they probably do like you.
You have to remember that air fuels the fire, so
What is that?
it's not a bad thing. Okay. Do I cut? I do.
You cut.
Sorry, the sunny cat is in my way.
My best friend at work is a Gemini who's married to a Scorpio. They were high school sweethearts. Then they broke up, and they were each in other relationships. What are we doing?
Oh, the first card is going to be what attracts Tori. Is it? I forget the
Tori.
name. Yeah, to Sarah.
Okay.
Oh.
The star. So Tori is inspired by you, apparently, or Tori sees you as being better or inspiring to them. Maybe Tori sees you as being the better version of themselves in some way, but there's definitely some pull there.
Absolutely. There's some positive feelings, I would say, that Tori does feel towards you. Absolutely.
We're sorry, Kirsty, but yeah, we are a little late. We're actually in overtime. We're just trying to finish up our last reading. So
yeah.
Do join us again. I'm going to post the schedule real quickly. And we're on at 7 p.m. next Thursday. That's Eastern Standard Time, or Sundays from 2 to 4 Eastern Standard Time.
And we thank you for joining us, and do feel free to tune in. If you subscribe, you'll be notified.
And that is our lucky cat. Okay, so the second card?
The second card is what could be turnoffs or distractions. Oh, is that the wheel?
Yeah, it's the fortune reverse.
Well, I think what might be a distraction at this time for this person is maybe they've had a bad run of luck, maybe in relationships perhaps, and so they're just feeling maybe down on their luck right now is what I'm sensing.
So it's a comparative thing. They see you as being bright and starry and full of hope, and they maybe look at themselves and say, I don't have a chance because I'm always in bad luck. or that maybe they feel that they just have too many other practical matters to resolve to get
That's
back
true.
into their cycle.
That they're right now very preoccupied with sort of a downturn with things. I don't know if they're coming out of a negative relationship or they're in one right now, or even if it's relationship related. There's, Sunny is hugging our microphone right now. So, at any rate, let's see what number 3 is. So, where are things headed? Is there a connection? What is this? Oh, was it this way? Because I got
Yes,
it
it was
this way from
reversed.
you. Okay. 6-1 reverse. Well, there may not be the connection yet. It seems like I would say not at this time. That's not to say there isn't, but I don't feel there is one right now, and it could be very well because of something that they themselves are going through at this present moment. How do you want to interpret that?
I'm really drawing a blank with it for some reason. But in general, I sort of feel like it sort of relates more to the second card, the sense that their life is not on an even keel for them at this point, and that maybe they're actually also possibly engaged in some fights or disagreements with other people. So they sort of have a little bit of angsty stuff going on in their life, and so maybe they're focused that way.
Well, hi, Saren. I'm sorry we're unable to take any more questions today. We're going into overtime, finishing up the ones we have, but we'll be happy to read for you next time. Just join us at our times. He'll post them again.
And that's our schedule there, Saren. Thursdays 7 to 9 at Eastern Standard, Sundays 2 to 4 at Eastern Standard.
Sarah, let me pull a couple of Lenormand cards for you and see if I can give a little bit more insight here into this. It did seem like I'm not certain that there is a connection at this moment. And like I said, there may be potential, but let me just see if there's anything.
My feeling
here.
is they have other things
Yeah.
going on and they're distracted. I think they're aware of you, but they're not really able to get around to it.
Are they in a relationship with somebody right now or just finishing one? Or did they lose somebody close to them? Because I have the cross card, which is about endings, and then I have a woman card. So I could read this a number of ways, and not all of them are good ones. One of them could be that, and I'm just going to say it, is that they might cease communicating with you or having a relationship with you. On the other hand, this could also indicate that they have to end something firmly and finally with somebody else before they can move on. Or also the possibility exists that they have lost somebody. It could be death. It could be a relationship that broke up, and they're in the process of dealing with that right now.
Well, so sadly, what it does look like is there's nothing really connective at this point in time. You probably are sensing something, though, and maybe those feelings are true, but it just seems like they have some things that are complicating their life at the moment, and it could be several different things that are relating to what we're indicating.
Yeah. So I would just say that, the outlook isn't good at this time. I would wait a while before asking about this again. Of course,
Maybe
and
try again.
I've told some people Mercury is retrograde, so maybe in about another month, revisit this. And, if you want to join us again for another question related to relationships, by all means pursue that. But let this germinate for a while, because I think something's going on here, and it's kind of heavy. And Tori has to work through some stuff, I think, before
That's what it sounds like.
they can approach any other relationship at this time. And so I
Thank you,
hope that
Sarah.
helps a little bit, Sarah. And thank you again for coming back and checking with us. Kim, are you with us? You are our last reading for today.
So we are paging Kim, and this will close out our adventure today.
Because we are spent. We have gone almost a half hour into overtime. And while we appreciate it, there's only so much we can provide at this point in time. So thank you all, because this has just been wonderful today. It's been a pleasure reading for everybody.
You know, the last few sessions, things have really taken off. We open up the chat room, and even before we start, we have 4, 5, 6 people in there. So we are thrilled. We really love everybody. We appreciate all of the support and all of the kindness that we get.
And coming in the year ahead, maybe opportunities for you to schedule readings with us privately. Of course, there's costs attached because we'll be able to spend more time with your questions and you and do more in-depth readings than we're able to do on live stream. So that's another opportunity. But we will always be reading free on our live streams. But again, we'll only have so much time we'll be able to devote to that.
Kalel and Natasha, a long time ago, I knew an astrologer who was really big in Detroit area. He used to appear on local TV shows. He had a regular gig on a morning show. His name was Paul Hudson, and he also helped people find missing or rare books. But he often talked about some of these concepts, and what he said was that, like, sometimes other people reflect back what you are. And that's what I would say to you, is that all of you are a reflection of us, and we are all a reflection of you. And
Kim,
here comes his own reflection.
Second call for
Sir
Kim.
Butt Cat.
Second call for Kim. Kim may have given up on us, and if that's the case, we'll sign off. But we're going to give her one more moment just to be sure.
My friend Paul Hudson actually thought that about cats too, that cats are a reflection of their owners too, and that when people say, oh, my cat is so special, it's really because you're so special. And that's what it is about all you guys out there. You are all so special. You make us feel special, and we want to try to make you feel special too.
And we may not always have good news for you, but you know what? Sometimes we need that, and you need to hear it from friends, from people who care. And we want you all to know we do care what happens. And also that whatever we tell you, you know that you have the ability to change and put right. These are not the be-all and end-all. It's what you do with the knowledge that we provide you that makes all the difference. You get a bad reading, you get that somebody's not interested in you, you might think to yourself, is there one final thing that I can try? And go ahead and try that. You know, don't give up just because we say something is not looking good. Always, go with your gut. But if your gut tells you, maybe I do need to move on after hearing what we have to say, then by all means do so.
Well, we will be closing in a moment, but I just thought that because Sunboy was here sharing with us, that we would let him wave goodbye to. Come and see us
whether he
again.
wants to or not. He says, no, stay on camera forever is what he says. Well, thank you, everybody. It has been an absolute joy reading for you, as we've said 100 times here, I think. And we will see you again, some of you, on Thursday evening from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and next Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. Till then, we'll see you next time.